Intro. In the stillness of early morning, Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up, if thou wilt ever dig, and perhaps if we look deeply enough, we may also find the subtle truth behind how a woman greets a man she secretly admires. Every gesture, every tone of voice, every fleeting smile, carries the quiet whisper of desire and emotional connection. Yet to the untrained mind these moments pass unnoticed. Most men, lost in distraction or insecurity, fail to perceive the language that needs no words, the language of silent attraction. Today, we explore this hidden psychology. Through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the lens of modern behavioral science, you will learn not only how women greet the men they truly like, but also how a Stoic man, grounded in presence and purpose, becomes the kind of man a woman greets differently. This isn't about tricks or surface tactics. It's about understanding the energy exchange, the vibration of quiet respect, admiration, and warmth that exists when two souls align. For the Stoic, attraction is not about conquest. It is about awareness, about seeing without delusion and connecting without attachment. A woman's greeting is often her first test, a soft signal of whether you are grounded or lost in neediness. And so, as Marcus wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Let us begin with the first truth, the greeting of presence, how energy speaks before words. A woman's greeting is more than a hello. It's an echo of how she perceives your presence. When she secretly likes a man, her greeting is not simply polite. It carries warmth that feels slightly different, almost melodic. Her voice softens, her tone becomes gentle, her eyes search for yours a little longer than normal. It's not seduction, it's subconscious reverence. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. A man who has mastered his thoughts radiates calm energy. He doesn't rush to impress, he observes. He is anchored. And women by instinct feel drawn to that anchor, especially in a world full of chaos and noise. When she greets such a man, she feels safe. And safety is the root of attraction. You'll notice subtle differences. She might unconsciously adjust her hair or clothing right before she speaks. Her pupils dilate slightly as her emotions rise. Her smile lingers just a second longer than it should. She uses your name, even when it isn't necessary. These are not rehearsed actions. They're emotional micro-expressions. Her mind's way of saying, I see you. Yet the Stoic man does not chase validation from these signs. He observes without attachment, aware that admiration from others must never disturb his inner peace. He smiles gently, responds with composed warmth, and remains true to his own rhythm. When Marcus spoke of ruling the self, he wasn't referring to power over others, but mastery over reaction. So if she greets you with light in her eyes, greet her not with arrogance but with balance. See her not as a conquest but as a reflection of your inner order, a mirror of the calm strength you cultivate daily. The moment you understand this, her greeting ceases to confuse you. It becomes a quiet mirror of mutual respect, not a puzzle to decode. For women do not respond to men who seek meaning in every gesture. They respond to those who embody meaning itself. The Stoic Magnetism. Why her greeting changes when you change within. Before a woman ever greets you differently, you must become different. No technique will replace inner gravity. Marcus Aurelius knew this truth when he wrote, "You have power over your mind and not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. A woman senses this strength long before you speak. When she likes a man, her body language shifts around that unspoken energy. not because he is handsome or rich, but because he is rooted. He carries a quiet self-trust, not the restless need to prove his worth. He listens more than he talks. He looks but does not stare. He leads but without dominance. In psychology, this is called emotional regulation. In Stoicism, it is called equanimity, the balance of mind that remains unshaken whether praised or ignored. When you embody this, your presence changes the dynamic. She greets you differently because she feels differently in your presence. Her tone softens not out of submission but resonance. Her laughter becomes genuine. Her eyes light up not because of what you say, but because she senses she's in the company of a man who is rarely found. But beware, do not mistake interest for attachment. Marcus Aurelius would remind you, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This means presence without obsession, connection without losing yourself. When a woman greets you warmly, your ego may whisper, "She likes me." But your higher self should whisper back, "Let me remain grounded." Because the moment you need her admiration to feel confident, you lose the very power that attracted her. The Stoic man sees every greeting, even a tender one, as an opportunity to practice discipline, to smile without expectation, to care without clinging, to connect without craving. And paradoxically, that detachment deepens attraction. For what is most attractive in a man is not the desire to possess, but the ability to remain complete, even when love walks away. This is the essence of Stoic magnetism. When you are no longer moved by approval or rejection, you become magnetic to both. Because your presence whispers what few can say aloud. I am enough. The unspoken dance, reading her energy without losing yours. There's a silent rhythm in every interaction between a man and a woman. A dance that begins long before words are spoken. When she secretly likes you, her body may move in subtle harmony with yours. She leans slightly when you lean. Her gestures mirror your pace, and her eyes follow your expressions almost unconsciously. These small reflections are not rehearsed. They are instinctive alignments. The heart recognizes what the mind is too proud to admit. But to the Stoic man, this is not a signal to chase. It's a signal to remain centered. For Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock against which the surf crashes, yet it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." So as she leans closer, you lean inward, not physically, but mentally. You observe. You watch how her energy responds to yours without clinging to interpretation. Because attraction observed is clarity. Attraction chased is chaos. Men who lack inner stillness often rush into assumption. They read too much, speak too soon, reveal too quickly. But a Stoic man does the opposite. He allows mystery to breathe. He understands that curiosity, when left unforced, blossoms into connection. When a woman feels that your calmness doesn't bend under her beauty, something rare awakens in her. Trust. And trust, more than any flirtatious act, is the true seed of attraction. You see, when a woman greets you with warmth, what she is truly doing is testing the space your soul occupies. Does it feel heavy or peaceful? Demanding or freeing? If your presence lightens the moment, if it brings serenity instead of tension, she feels safe enough to open herself further. The modern mind often believes attraction begins with charm, but in truth it begins with composure. When you no longer seek validation from her greeting, she begins to give it freely, and in that paradox lies your power. Marcus taught that a man's worth is measured by the worth of what he values. So, value peace more than pursuit. Value stillness more than success. Value clarity over conquest. For these are the virtues that quietly make a woman fall. not for your words but for your being. When respect turns into attraction, respect is the soil. Attraction is the flower. No woman truly admires a man she cannot respect, and the first impression, that brief greeting, determines whether respect is possible. A woman's admiration grows not from your looks, your wealth, or your charm, but from one subtle observation. You do not bend your values for her approval. Marcus Aurelius lived by this principle. He said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This is not just moral advice, and it's psychological power. Because when you live by truth and integrity, your presence radiates something unshakable. When she greets you and feels this in you, the dynamic changes. She senses that you do not perform for attention. You exist in purpose. You are not seeking to impress, you are simply being authentic, and that calm authenticity is rare. She might begin to speak a little faster around you, trying to fill the silence, not because she's nervous, but because she feels your calm challenges her storm. She may laugh more openly, adjust her tone, or even make playful comments to test your emotional stability. The Stoic man does not flinch. He does not boast. He simply remains present. In modern psychology, this is known as emotional containment, the ability to hold space for another person's emotions without being overtaken by them. Women are subconsciously drawn to this because it reflects leadership, patience, and depth. Remember this truth. A woman might be entertained by a charming man, but she is moved by a grounded one. She may enjoy the excitement of attention, but she respects the man who gives her peace. Respect, therefore, is attraction in disguise. It's the invisible line between interest and admiration. So when she greets you differently, when her tone softens or her smile glows, understand that it is not merely attraction. It is her heart acknowledging something deeper. Here is a man I can respect without fear. To hold such energy is to carry what Marcus Aurelius called the calm eye in the storm. And once a woman feels that calm, her heart cannot unsee it. The test of consistency. When the greeting evolves in the beginning, her greeting might be light, a spark hidden behind politeness. But as she grows emotionally drawn to your stability, her behavior subtly shifts. She greets you with a tone of familiarity, not flirtation, but comfort. She looks directly into your eyes, and in that gaze there's a wordless question. Are you still the same man I met? Most men fail this test. They become louder, cockier, or overly attentive the moment they sense interest. They change, and in changing they lose the very essence that attracted her. But the Stoic man remains unmoved. He greets her as always, calmly, with soft strength and unforced confidence. He knows that consistency is his greatest statement. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." This applies even to the trials of attraction. A woman may withdraw slightly one day and approach warmly the next, testing not your charm but your steadiness. Each greeting is her way of asking, "Can I rely on your energy? Will you stay grounded when I am uncertain? Will you respect my space as much as my presence?" When you respond with steadiness, neither cold nor desperate, she relaxes into trust. It's not your words but your emotional equilibrium that speaks louder. In Stoicism, this is known as apatheia, not indifference, but serenity amidst fluctuation. It is the art of remaining the same man whether the world praises you or forgets you. Women intuitively crave this in men. Because in your steadiness she sees her own safety. In your composure she sees a reflection of emotional maturity. And in your silence, she feels the presence of a man who listens more than he reacts. When she realizes that your behavior doesn't change based on her level of affection, that your respect, Your tone, your warmth remain consistent. That's when admiration becomes attraction, and attraction turns into quiet reverence. This is how women greet men they secretly like, with softness born of respect, not just desire. It is not the greeting that defines the moment, but the man who stands within it. And as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Think calmly, act steadily, and every greeting becomes an echo of your inner strength. The mirror of her greeting, what it reveals about you. When a woman greets you, she is not only expressing her emotion, she is reflecting your vibration. Her tone, her eyes, the pace of her words, they all mirror the energy you bring into the moment. If you greet her with nervous anticipation, her warmth fades into caution. If you greet her with arrogance, her charm hardens into resistance. But when you greet her with presence, calm, collected, confident, she unconsciously relaxes, because your peace gives her permission to be herself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of those around you depends upon the tranquility you carry within yourself." This truth extends to attraction. A woman's emotional openness often mirrors the peace you hold internally. In the modern world, men chase chemistry but forget character. They seek connection without cultivating calm. Yet it is calmness, wise, not confidence, that creates a sense of home in your energy. A woman's secret liking isn't loud. It doesn't reveal itself in exaggerated words or overt flirtation. It hides in how she greets you when no one else is watching. Does she soften her voice? Does she look longer than politeness requires? Does she smile with eyes that seem to remember your presence? If so, understand her greeting has become personal. You have shifted from being part of her environment to being part of her emotional landscape. And here lies the paradox of the Stoic man. He does not celebrate such moments with pride. He treats them with gratitude, because attraction, like every blessing, is temporary and delicate, so he receives her warmth with humility, knowing that his inner strength and not her interest defines him. He practices emotional temperance, the Stoic virtue of moderation. He doesn't chase her smile. He simply mirrors it. He doesn't analyze her greeting. He honors it. And by doing nothing extraordinary, he becomes extraordinary. For Marcus taught, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. A man who lives in harmony with himself is magnetic, not because he seeks love, but because he embodies it through self-command. So the next time she greets you with quiet affection, notice it but do not depend on it. Let her warmth be a reflection of your discipline, not a condition for your happiness. Because when your peace becomes your priority, her attraction becomes your echo. The Stoic understanding of emotional connection, love, attraction, and desire, these are storms that pass through the mind of even the wisest man. But Stoicism doesn't ask you to reject emotion. It asks you to govern it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And in attraction, this means learning to feel deeply without being enslaved by feeling. When she greets you softly, when her presence lingers near yours, when her laughter subtly invites you closer, your emotions may rise. You may feel excitement, curiosity, even longing. But the Stoic man turns inward and observes these emotions as passing visitors. He does not suppress them, but he does not serve them either. He watches his own reaction with stillness, reminding himself that self-mastery is the highest form of love. Because to truly connect with someone, you must not lose yourself in them. You must remain whole, emotionally available, yet internally sovereign. A woman secretly likes the man whose emotions do not control him. Because such a man offers something rare in the modern world: stability without detachment, care without dependence, strength without arrogance. He can admire her beauty, but he does not worship it. He can enjoy her presence, but he does not cling to it. He can express interest, but he does not seek validation. That balance, that controlled fire, is what draws her closer. Because in him she senses both passion and peace, both attraction and restraint. Marcus once reflected, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." The Stoic man carries that peace wherever he goes. And when he greets a woman, whether she secretly likes him or not, his calm becomes contagious. That is his silent advantage. That is his unseen power, the Stoic man's presence. Beyond greetings, at the end of all reflection, attraction is not about words or gestures. It is about presence. A woman may greet many men in her lifetime, but she remembers only those whose presence made her feel both calm and alive. And you, as a Stoic man, must remember, her greeting does not define your worth, your response does. Smile with awareness. Speak with intention. Walk with balance. And whether she greets you with admiration or indifference, remain grounded in who you are. Marcus Aurelius spent his life surrounded by power, beauty, and temptation, yet his greatest victories were within. He did not seek to be loved. He sought to be right in character. And because of that, history remembers him as not just a philosopher, but a man who conquered himself. So the next time a woman greets you, whether her eyes shine with hidden affection or pass you with polite formality, remember, every greeting is an opportunity to practice awareness, humility, and grace. If she secretly likes you, let it be a gentle reminder that your calmness speaks louder than any charm. And if she doesn't, let it be proof that your peace does not depend on anyone's affection. Because the Stoic man understands love, attention, admiration. These are gifts, not guarantees. And the man who needs none of them is the one who quietly attracts them all. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Be that man, calm, centered, wise. And every greeting, whether whispered in desire or spoken in friendship, will echo the silent respect of a woman who recognizes a rare soul.